survivor. Look at John in uniform, look. Someone change the word. I'm at dinner and come straight in here.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Flory Model Show. Here we are with you live on the 7th of October 2021 after what has been a horrendous week. It was a horrendous weekend because it was really busy, and then obviously a horrendous week. But anyway, we're sort of, I think as long as we get to the weekend, a bit of a break over the weekend, we'll be alright next week. But at the moment, I must admit, I know Matt's feeling it. It's been pretty full on, hasn't it?
It's been great. I'm not moaning. We're definitely not complaining. It's been great, but it has been like just super busy, and I'm absolutely knick-knacked tonight. To be honest,
my mind's just gone. Mine's went.
It's amazing. It's just an amazing, thing from the weekend, really. So it's been yeah.
Yes, pretty.
I don't know. My brain's not even working to speak. So.
I know that one.
Idiot tonight, just mumble on.
Yes. So big thank you to obviously everybody who was with us at the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. It was great fun for us, apart from the quiz, because I think I ought to go on the chase now.
I'm just gonna get you. I'm just gonna do a quiz. What colour is this?
I think so. Can we do a child's edition next time? Like do Trivial Pursuit. Adults, children.
We need round holes and square holes, and
yeah.
Which colour can fit into which?
Need something, crikey. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was great, obviously, interacting with you guys live as well over the entire weekend as well. So that's what it's all about, having a bit of fun. But as I say, sales, I think the word unprecedented wouldn't go too far of a stretch. Because definitely never known a weekend like it, quite frankly. To say we've been stripped out, I feel like I feel unclean. Needless to say, I've been putting in orders with all my manufacturers this week. Like, need these, we need them quick, and everything else like that. So yes, it has been pretty full on with that point of view as well. So, and as I say, bear with us. The orders from my point of view, as of 12 o'clock today, they have all gone out. But obviously, Matt's got a few stuff he still needs from my side of things as well, from Flory Models products. They've all gone up today. As well, so they've got their restock going up to them, and a few other ones as well. We've got a full restock has also gone over to our Greek distributor, Serious Hobbies as well. So with that on top of everything else, it's been a full-on week.
Yeah, good busy.
Fair to say we got stripped, didn't we, completely?
Yes.
Well, that's what it's about, wasn't it?
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Weekend was about, so it achieved its goal, shall we say? So, and hopefully people had fun watching us do what we do.
Yes.
And enjoyed it. So, and we'll do it all again in end of this November.
November, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Turkey shoot time.
Turkey shoot, everyone. I've got my hat ready. We're okay. It's still in the corner. I'm all right. We're all sorted.
I'll pre-warn you now. I might have the Monday off, and then just come back up to it on Tuesday.
All right. Brett's also saying that he's got all his orders and he's up to date as of today, and apparently he's got another order coming my way. Crikey. Yeah. Might have to have a delay on that, so because again, you should see the unit. The unit looks like literally after Telford, where you come back from it and the place looks like a bomb's at it, and there's empty boxes everywhere and everything else like that. That's what the unit looks like as we speak. It's horrendous. So I said I'm going to have to do a cardboard run tomorrow to get rid of all the empty boxes and everything, where it's literally been stripped out. My local post office, because I'm quite old school of taking the bags full up there, well, they haven't had anything like this because obviously PM handles all of that now, and like even they're like, wow, this has gone back in time when we used to go out with bagfuls of stuff going into them. So yeah, definitely.
If anybody from us hasn't received their orders yet, or it's still showing as pending, bear with us. It will be going out ASAP
tomorrow.
So we're just waiting for some bits to come in from one of our suppliers.
We're on it. And anybody who's had a pre-order for the Hurricanes and MI-24s, they've all gone out as well.
Yes.
Because I filled the post van today. She was proper chuffed when she turned up and I filled a van.
I bet she was.
Literally filled the van. It was brilliant.
Cool. Very good. But anyway, big thank you to everyone. So we're sort of getting back on top of it now and working our way through. I even did some editing this afternoon, tried to get back to normal work. First time I've had a chance this week as well, so it's all going very well. Let's make our way through. So, theme for tonight is pretty relaxed, purely because we haven't had any time really to prep for anything. So, it's open chat night, so we've got a couple of things we're going to talk about, and then obviously, guys, if you want to post up any questions, we'll answer them as best as we can, clearly, when we get to that bit. So, tonight we're going to be talking, obviously, about the new listings for the SIGs and group builds for the 2022. So if you have got any questions like that and everything in live chat, you can post up down in there. If I just go off and find it, because I've lost it.
Can we just answer Russell a second in chat? He's been given a Sparmax compressor from a friend and the tank was crushed. He's asking if he's posted a link to a tank on eBay and asked will it fit. I honestly imagine it would. I can't see why it wouldn't, because it's If
it's been crushed, though, will the tank have been compromised because it's holding?
No, yeah, but it wants to replace the tank.
Ah, right, okay.
So he's put a picture up of another tank off eBay.
Yeah. Surely you can fit any tank. You can put a bloody tank. It just takes longer to fill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, obviously the size of the motor thing is the tank, but yeah, I would have thought it'd be all right.
It's the fittings, isn't it? But you can always get conversions for the fittings.
Oh yeah, it's any standard conversion.
As long as you can figure out a way of mounting the compressor on top of it, if it doesn't fit the supply brackets, but I think you'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
Just to answer Colin's question about the Spitfire, a lot of people, professional modelers or whatever you want to call them, when they've built Pramjet Spitfire, have ended up with a massive wing root gap. And what they've all done is when they glued the cockpit in, this isn't the one with they pinched the fuselage halves together, and that's why they've got gaps. So a Pramjet on one of the shows said he wished he'd put some sort of something to stop people doing it. But what a lot of people do is glue the cockpit in and then pinch the fuselage halves together. Don't do that. Almost don't glue the cockpit in. You have to do a little bit or rattle around, but that's why most people on YouTube have absolutely hammered Pramjet's kit, because all they did was pinch the fuselage halves together when they glued in the cockpit, and then that's why they've got a wing root gap. So that's it really.
Brilliant segue. I haven't got any photos here because we're all on the other computer upstairs for editing and everything. But funnily enough, if you watch tomorrow's show, I talk about how to take care of that in about 30 seconds. I won't spoil it, but I've done an actual video on wing root problems. So it's part of the little series on it. So if you have happened to have a big gap in there, because funny enough, it's how I did that wing root in there, which is as big as your thumbnail, to get it in, and literally that hasn't had anything on there. It's had shimmed it, cut it, and then left it, and it's perfect. It's actually seamless down in there as well now. So you can see that tomorrow, because that'll be up there tomorrow.
I mean, this is the same plastic as the other kit that we're talking about, and this has got perfect fit. But that's the mistake that a lot of people made, is they pinched the fuselage halves together when they glued the cockpit in. Don't do it.
Jamie's in chat and says he's ordered the Lancaster.
Don't care.
50p in the jar.
Yeah, 50p in the jar. He's got to pay for that. So no one cares. That's the thing now. Apparently, it's the big thing. We're just going to have a swear jar.
It says here, I fancy doing it out of the box, clean and some battle damage and feathered properly.
Thing is, how can he have ordered it when people don't know what the stockists are going to even get yet?
Yeah, clever, isn't it?
Using the dark web secret.
Because he knows people. He knows people who knows people who know other people.
He knows people.
Yeah.
He's going to get
that's how probably.
Yeah, it's
a looking suitcase with a kit in it. That's what it's going to be.
Is this one of these very limited editions, so limited that a lot of stockists now have said they're probably not stocking it because it's that limited?
So we had an email through from the Border Models distributor saying we ain't got a price yet for the UK.
No, and it amazes me how there's certain people even on our forum who claim to know the price, which is quite clever.
I was about to say that. So you were saying I know the price, and these people.
The thing is, we know where that price came from, but they're not coming from that person, from that place, are they? So
nope.
I think there was sort of like people jumped on it a bit too quick, and yeah.
To be honest, I actually don't care anymore. I've had so much crap from this. I've literally lost the will to live with it, and I have no time for it whatsoever, which is really, really sad to be in that position, you know. But I've literally just bored to death with it now, and it's one of those things where you shouldn't. I've literally have tried to get back on top of this, and I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about it, and we were saying about it's a beautiful kit, it's gorgeous, and it looks great, and it should be so respected, if you like, but I've lost all respect for it whatsoever because I'm just fed up with it now. And this sort of elitist chat where people talking about it and all this type of thing with it, and how they quite happily pay £1,000 because it's gorgeous and this, that, and the other. Then you've got the other half of it saying, "Oh, I wouldn't pay 250 quid for it because it's, you know, we should live in a communist state." Clearly, I'm about to go on a rant. I'm tired. I'll stop before I do.
Just stop before you carry on. Just leave it.
I'll leave it right there because I'm that fed up with the entire thing with it now. It's like, oh, I honestly don't care. I'm just going to build the HK one.
You could have a nervous twitch when you see the Battle of Britain Memorial flag.
So
yeah, changing it to a trade contact.
So well, there you go. You see, so even he's fudging it. So, yes, I'm not even going to bother. Not even going to go there.
No.
Right. So anyway, this is obviously, if you didn't see it, let's change that subject. Nathan has very kindly put up the 22 group build SIGs for next year's with the bits and pieces all about it down here. If you didn't follow this one, we had the live reveal of this at the weekend. So the first one up for the group build is following on from obviously all the other ones we're doing. The 60s one, we got the 70s group build. And again, there's some mega options in there, pretty much throughout all the different genres, from armor to obviously aircraft to naval to civil stuff. You know, that was a good era. I know, I was born then. I was there.
Best camo scheme for the 70s.
Yes, but there's so many different options, let's face it, down in there. So that actually should be a very, very good one. Very interesting.
Can I make a suggestion for 2023? We'll do the 80s group build.
Do you know what? I think you've just let the cat out of the bag, Andy.
Anyway, you realise we actually can't do that now.
No,
we can't.
So
we're going to have to skip that. It's going to go straight to the 90s.
Yeah,
just to throw people off.
So as you said, there's some great options down in there for that one, and I think you're all on to that one. You know how that one's going to work because we've done all the eras. So that's just really following on from that one. So there's some good stuff in there. The big one, which to be honest, as a team, we all got quite excited about, and obviously we took some cues from you guys mentioning it as well, from the scratch building or the Greebly group build, or to be honest, this is one of those things. I know Nathan's grabbed this because of we've tested and that, but we always used to call it kit bashing in the trade. So it was that thing about, you know, just kit bashing them and everything. So if in the UK, if you're wondering what Greeble is, kit bash is down in there. So again, we've tried to include everybody in this because clearly if you're not into kit bashing and stuff like that, or perhaps you're not up to actually physically creating a model off of its own back as in a conversion, what we've allowed in here to this one is to have like what ifs. So obviously from that point of view, it means you can do a normal build and then put it into markings or a type of fit and various things like that which aren't to the normal version of. So, you know, like we said, you could do a Japanese World War II Lancaster in 32nd. Or you could do something like that, you know.
Spitfire paveways on it.
Yeah, Spitfire paveway twos, yeah. Anything like that, you know. Or you could put a Sopwith Camel with lasers.
One little thing that did crop up over the weekend, though, with that is, are we going to allow commercially available what ifs? Because someone was saying, like, who is it does kits are like the paper panzers, don't they? And you can get a lot of
46, 47 and all that stuff.
46 stuff kits, can't you?
Yeah, I think if the idea of the group build is to be creative and do something that's unique to yourself. So I don't think it's really in the spirit of the group build to take a commercially available what if.
No, I don't think it is either. Personally, I would say no.
You're building someone else's what if, not your own.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole point of all of this is that you're going to take a kit and make it your own. So i.e. nobody else is going to do one like it. That's the whole point. So as you said, you can do something sci-fi-ish and, you know, completely kit bash a kit into something else. Or, you know, as you say, Jamie's done various ones over the years, let's face it, various ones, and say some good references out there and various things other people have done. Like I said, I saw a good one the other day, which is a Hein 24 welded to an A10. That was a good kit, and all these different other ones. There's lots of different scope out there just to get, you know, in the sort of feel of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, this one is sort of born out of that sort of, you know, industrial light and magic era of actually building model kits, the Space 1999 to this world, and Blake 7 and all things like that as well, where so, you know, it is one of those things where you can just literally let your mind go absolutely rampant. Like we said before, we've had lots of conversations about accuracy of kits and accuracy of paints. Well, this gets rid of that, because actually everything is going to count and be absolutely fine. So as long as it's not something that's commercially available, or you're just, you know, making a couple of changes to a kit, we just want to see some creativity into it, isn't it? And let your minds run on this one.
I think what I might do is just amend I might do an addendum to that PDF then, and just exclude that.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that don't want to build fantasy can still sort of do a diorama sort of thing, can't they?
Well, I must admit, my initial thing was I was going to do like that conversion, but then I'm thinking I've got 3 or 4 like crappy old 1/72 scale kits that I'm probably never going to build.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a bit of fun just to whack something together out of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the person that's asked the question is doing it, but this is what we had like 2 years ago. Is people were, I can find a loophole in the rules and I'll build that.
Yeah, well, loophole pin's going to be banned. So people literally just come along and try it for it. They'll just get instantly deleted, and that's it. Because we have this every single year where people push it. And I know a lot of it's done in jest, but it does wind everybody in the team up. So, because obviously we work quite hard at doing these and making sure everyone can take part, and we do a lot of answering questions, and then we get somebody come along who just does it because they can. So, honestly, we're not taking any prisoners next year.
I'm going to amend the rules to exclude someone who buys a kit and builds from that one box.
Mm-hmm.
So someone suggested like taking a couple of kits off your shelf of Doom.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you know, mashing them together and coming out with something.
And also the other good one, which is a really good one, which I know a lot of people do, is that they'll take old broken kits that they've got. So if you've got a kit lying on your shelf that's come off its gear, or it's had an accident and you're planning on actually putting it back together but never do, think about what you could do with that kit. So if you've got a couple of old kits and a load of spares kicking around, we're not expecting anyone to go out and spend a fortune on this. The whole point is entering into the sort of spirit of it. So, you know, you might think, well, look, I've got, I don't know, I'm just looking around what I've got, but I've got like an old fork here. I could say, well, look, I could amalgamate some bits of a different kit that I've got kicking around as well, an F16, and come out with something else, you know?
I mean, Neil's put a point on that. It feels a bit cheeky plonking a new decal set on a Spitfire and calling a what if. Well, don't buy a decal set. Go through your spare decals.
Yeah.
And pull out some P47 markings and do some like 8. I don't know. Just. I think everybody's got the message this year. I think what's in the spirit of the group build, and what we're trying to do is. Some builders are going to go nuts and build something fantastic. So we'd like the painters to do something similar and be as creative with their airbrush, camo work, you know. Or if you really want to be firmly grounded in realism, then maybe the diorama route instead. I don't know. But,
well, this is something I started years ago now, a few years ago, and it's an old Bandai kit from some Japanese.
Hold on, I've got to find you. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And what it is, it's a bit toy-like because it comes on wheels so they can push it round underneath. So what I did was take a load of old scrap to fill in the holes, and then underneath all that is just spare parts they had off ships, I think, and tanks. So I can't even tell what they are. I think they're wheels off something, like idler wheels or something, and just built the underneath up. And I was just messing, and then I was adding like bits of photo etch to the outside of it. And on tops of the wings, and do you know what I mean? It's just so you don't have to go mad and mental and scratch build from nothing. You can take commercial stuff and just play with it, really. like I say, I never figured out a paint scheme. That's why it never got finished. I don't think. I think I did them. I don't know if they're on it or they might be on it. Them little jets at the back, but I drilled them out and just little things just to detail it. But
no, that's exactly what we want.
do you know what I mean? It's not.
Patrick, doing a conversion's fine. You don't have to build a fantasy subject, because if you're doing a conversion, you're fine because you're doing the same sort of work as someone who's scratch
Right.
building.
Somebody's put about back forms and a mini art building. That counts to me.
Yeah.
But does that to you?
It's a really open group build, but what we're just trying to put a stop to tonight is someone buying a Luft 46 kit build out of box. We don't want
That was a big spider that was living in my box. Just see something just scurry out then. Like, what the hell was that?
well,
Jesus.
If I don't know, a Harrier GR9 and turn it into a T10 with a conversion set, that's fine. That's allowed because that's the conversion then, isn't it? Because I do know that some people don't like to build what ifs or fantasy subjects, so that's why a conversion is. But if someone's going to build, I don't know, just reach for the kit. A second.
Patrick says, does it include commercially available conversions, such as to do it yourself?
So if you to buy a resin conversion, like Nathan was saying, for a Harrier that was a GR3 or a GR7, and you want to make it into a T10 or something else like that, then no problem at all.
If I take that kit and build it out of the box, that's not allowed. I know it's a what if, but it's taking one box, and I think we're just going to have to invent a rule that you can't build. This is the problem in then, because then backform kits, I think just use your common sense really.
But like a backform kit, at the end of the day, let's face it, unless you are just going to have a bubble, a backform kit is going to take a little bit of scratch building anyway, because by their nature, that's what normally you're going to have to do with it. Because you are cutting it up and you're doing the various bits and pieces, adding tabs, and then obviously usually adding detail. So,
for that.
Neil Smalley says, tempted to buy some dinosaur kits and make a Philosaurus Rex.
That's it. But the whole point is, like we're trying to say is, and we're trying to get over this year, all of these group builds are supposed to be fun. We want to bring the fun element back into this, and we want it to be talking points, and we want to get excited about it all, instead of just people taking the piss. You know? As I said, we moved away from the medals and all the rest of it. We're trying to put the fun back into this, instead of it just telling who can get a medal and get it for probably the least amount of work, and not really doing something that we even asked for you in the most point, because that's what it seemed to be turning into. So that's why we're doing it really, is to sort of get the fun thing back into this, and obviously we can get excited about your work and showcase it, which hopefully gets other people excited into it and inspired, so forth and so on.
I think, I know Jamie's in chat and not one to blow smoke with his trumpet, but his OV10 that he built, which was kit bashed into a Mad Max style aircraft, wasn't it? Was perfect. Would be perfect for it. And also, his latest one that he did was the Buccaneer in US Navy markings. Again, so like both different scales of thing, because one's like complete scratch built, one's a standard kit with different markings on, but they fit perfectly into this.
Yeah,
this
they
group.
would be perfect. I think. I think people will be all right.
It'll be alright. It will work, and if done, you'll get deleted. Right. Next one up is flashpoints. So this is the first SIG of the year. So this one's going to run January to end of April. So this one is basically conflicts, or sort of limited edition or short duration wars, which are 12 weeks or less. So we're thinking things like the Falklands War, the First Gulf War, the Suez Crisis, Yom Kippur, and also we've got Zanzibar, which lasted 45 minutes, which I wasn't aware of that one.
No, according to Wikipedia, anyway.
So what did they do? Have a cup of tea and decided,
I think one person's house got slightly damaged.
Oh, was it? But the opposition went back and fixed it for them afterwards.
Yeah, You can do, I think, most of the Arab-Israeli conflicts. You could do the 6-Day War as well. So you've got loads of scope if you're into Israeli stuff. Football wars, perfect. Soccer wars. There's loads and loads and loads and loads.
The main reason really for this one was because obviously it's the 40th anniversary of the Falklands, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if we just had a Falklands sig, it would have been a bit
too sea-fiery. Harrier, rather.
Lots of Sea Harriers, and Pucaras, isn't it? And that's about it.
Yeah. And also, because we've only just come off the back of doing the South American one, obviously a lot of Pucaras and Mirages and Skyhawks were made for that. So, obviously, this just gives a little bit of scope for everything. But again, if you do a little bit of research on this, there's lots of different options up there of various things that have happened. But again, it can't be part of a full campaign. So, i.e., you can't do, like Nathan's put down in here, Market Garden, because obviously that was part of World War II. So you can't pick individual battles or individual areas like that, which only lasted a few weeks. These got to be standalone conflicts in their own right.
I wonder what happens. How long did we were bombing the bits out of Libya? Not so long ago. How long did that last? Because the French were having a dig at us because we didn't have a carrier, weren't they? The other one where Gaddafi ended up getting the chop. How long did that last?
I don't know, to be honest.
I mean, John's asked the question, does it have to be a declared war or conflict? As long as the start date of conflict was within the start and end were within 12 weeks of each other, then it doesn't have to be an officially declared conflict. It just had to be a bit of a ding-dong between two countries.
No, Neil, the poll tax rights don't count. No, the protesters supergluing themselves to the M25.
What was it when we were bombing Libya? I can't remember what it was called. It's Op Shader. Or was that ISIS one? Yeah. But the onus is on the members to do the research and check the start and end date.
Yes.
And check it's within 12 weeks. We're not here to do the research for you. Really, I'm going to trust you to sort of put up this conflict between X and Y started then and finished then.
Yes.
That's all right then, because I'm doing the 100-year war.
What sort of planet year are you measuring?
Well, there you go.
Right, okay, so that's that one. So that one's obviously going to run for the first part of the year. Then we're going to go into the Nordic SIG. Yes. And so I'll be queuing Enya music. Not Enya, what's the other one? What's their name? Bjork?
Bjork.
We need Bjork for the theme music for that one. And so anyway, so this is the Nordic region. Obviously, we do pick out different areas. So this one does include the following. Northern Europe, parts of including Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, as well as the Faroe Islands, Greenland, and where's that?
It's Svalbard or something like that.
Svalbard, yeah.
That's an island. It's a Norwegian island into the
Norwegian island, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically, I don't know. It's part of the Northern group. It's like they've got their own little version of the EU. So Lapland's part of Finland, isn't it?
Lapland is part of Finland, yes.
I think so.
You could do Santa Claus.
Yeah, could you do Santa?
A reindeer.
It was originally the Scandi SIG, but we had to sort of make it a bit more geographically correct. Basically, Vikings.
Yes, that's what we're getting at, isn't it?
Is Lapland in Norway? I don't know.
No, it's Finland, isn't
It's
it?
Finland. It's right at the top of Finland.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's quite an interesting one because obviously for that, think Saab, as in cars, planes, boats.
Somebody's put Thor from the Avengers technically counts because he's the Norse god.
Yes,
North,
absolutely.
Norse god, so he counts.
Asgard, yeah.
You can do your Norse mythology, so orcs and all that sort of dwarves and stuff come from that.
Yeah.
You can do a 1/48 scale Carlsberg if you want, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
1-to-1 IKEA. No.
They're fantastic kits, though. Hey, they're fantastic kits.
Yeah, they do. They always go together, and they don't have any missing parts or short shots.
Hey, yeah.
See, if you're going to do a scale model of a Billy bookcase, would you do it built or unbuilt?
Billy bookcase.
We would need pictures of it unstarted, and then during the build. And you just know some sod will do that now.
Like, that has got to be one of the greatest names for a bookcase.
Really? Everybody knows it though, don't they?
Billy Bookcase.
Billy
Yeah.
Bookcase, yeah. So yeah, so there's lots of options for that one. Again, get creative with it, as you say, for anything from that part of the world. So yes, and we're not eating any food that was pointed out of us eating rotten whales or dolphins or whatever else it is. No.
I will happily.
Luckily, I don't eat fish. So
Richard
unless it's a
says
fish
Lapland
finger.
is Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Russia combined.
So that means we're all right then.
There must be that northern bit in it.
Near the Arctic
On the
Circle.
Lego.
Yeah.
Can you do a Lego brick?
Yeah, if you build it, as in you have to make a Lego brick.
You scratch build a Lego brick.
And it will have to have Lego written on it, because otherwise it could be a Chinese one.
Very fussy on standards of build on that one.
We will be. Right, okay, so that's that one. And then last up, one of our favourites, is for Zvezda. So this is going to run to September to December. It'll be the last SIG of the actual year. And in previous years, obviously, we've done everything from Tamiya right the way through to other manufacturers. As I say, so this is picking out a manufacturer. So new or old kits, whichever you want to do on this particular one. So anyway, founded in 1990. So you've got plenty of scope. Some of their older stuff is a little bit ropey, but obviously these days they're very spot on. So any kit you like. So yes.
Nice and affordable manufacturer as well. So it's do their little 72 aircraft are nice. I like them.
So
Matchbox March. Are we still doing that? Oh my god.
Just going back to a Billy Bookcase, 15 quid or 25 quid if you want a Billy Bookcase for my
there you
kit.
go. Bargain.
See?
Okay, so the rules are going to be quite stringent this year, purely so we can get this back on track. Because I say, over the last few years, it's just got to be a bit of a pain for us to run. So by people usually pushing the rules of what's allowed or finding loopholes and all the rest of it into it. So again, if you're into making up loopholes, I suggest you don't actually take part in the group builds and SIGs, because otherwise you're just going to get kicked out. All right, so that's just keep it simple and fun. This is the whole point to all of these now. It's simple and fun. There is a little bit of a breakdown in here, what's expected about your actual qualifying group builds. And obviously we talk about the reveal threads and how they should be written up as well in basic form just down in here to give you some ideas. So obviously about the kit, the decals you've used, any aftermarket, your paint, weathering, and any other build bits and pieces down in there, and obviously how your build is done. What I will do is I will sort out some people who've done some really nice ones and simply say this is really what you're going to be going for. But at the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun, so I don't want anybody thinking they're pressurized into it. I know we have mentions about people who are dyslexic. Trust me, you can't get much more dyslexic than me if you see my spelling. So it's one of those things where you don't have to write a book. We're not expecting, like, you know, no less than 2,000 words or all the rest of it, but we would like a little bit of text just to point out what you're taking pictures of. And again, we're not expecting 1,000 photos here. You just do a few photos as you make your stage through. But the whole point is, like I've said many times before, the whole point of all of these is you're leaving behind a legacy where people can have a look at your build and perhaps follow along through it, get inspired, get excited about a build from seeing yours. So if you've got 1, 2, miss a few, it's no real help to anyone. So again, it's one of those, try and pace yourself so you've got enough time during the build to finish it off, and that way you're showcasing your work and everything in there. But no one's expecting just, I stuck A to B, B to C, C to D, because no one's going to want to follow it that way through. But you're just pointing out, you know, perhaps if you've come across a problem, you know, how did you fix it? That's always a good one. But also like what paints you've used, perhaps if you used any aftermarket, especially any problems you found during your build. That's really what we're looking out for. So something that's a little bit different this year is obviously we're not going to be doing medals 2022 onwards. So it's going to change. We're going to do the top 10. So this will be solely on the build thread. It's got nothing to do with the finish of the model. In fact, we probably won't even be looking at the reveal photos. We'll be looking at your build thread and how much time you've spent into it. Have you gone beyond, you know, the normal? Have you gone that little bit further to sort of, you know, make it more of a polished item? And then what we'll actually do is, as a thank you, we will give medals and probably a few other little prizes as well to those 10 people. And it will just be the 10 favourite ones that we've come up with for that particular group build. It's not for the SIGs, it's purely for the group build. And there won't be any order either, it'll just be the top 10. And then that way we can give a little something back to them and do it that way. Everybody else will get virtual medals, which you can display then in your signature bar at the bottom, which is something we're working on. So you'll be able to put them on a bit like a Korean general after doing it for 20 years, when you have a bank of them down at the bottom of your signatures about that deep. So that's the plan to that one as well. So it's still a big thank you for doing it. Still going to do the reveal videos with your name on and all the bits and pieces. But to be honest, this year has been an absolute minefield sending medals, including one I had back today, which has been gone months now. And it's just turned back up today and it was refused. And again, I get it, because it is this thing. They've gone in the EU. They've only got 67 cents fee. But then obviously you got an €8 handling fee. So why would you pay for it? Well, thing is, it gets sent back to me, but then I've already paid for it to go out once. So it is that thing. It's cost me money because of the medal and the thing, and now I've got a load of medals left over now that have come back where people didn't want them clearly, and they just sent them back. So, you know, I get it in some ways because obviously it's a freebie to you and you don't want to have the cost of it, but then it's costing me to send them. So it's easier to do it this way moving forward. And as I said, you know, we've been doing it for the last 15 years. So it's one of those things we're making a small change to. Again, it's one of those things. It's just drawn out of necessity with it all. So that's the plan with that one anyway. Any questions?
Yeah, are we done yet? I'm tired.
Can we take a minute just to talk about Nathan's Fokker DR1?
Oh, bloody hell.
Do you know what? I'm gonna pipe up. I'm disappointed, Nathan, in you. I'm proper disappointed in you.
Oh, yeah.
So go on, you might as well explain this, because I'm on the back end of this as well, because I wasn't involved in yesterday's shenanigans. Is it in the bin?
You can have the decals back if you want.
Did they come off? I thought you put the entire kit in there, to be honest.
I mean, they literally came off in sheets. They're like,
so it is proper like wrapping then.
well, I mean, that's the decal, and it's like cellophane.
So it's
came off
pretty
in a
thick
sheet.
stuff then.
So it didn't really adhere particularly strongly, and it was just like, I didn't like the look of it. So it's all under
So what
wrap.
did you do?
I resprayed it. So if I switch the overhead on for a minute, it's a bit sort of, you know, shut me out right on side. So what I did is I did my own
Which looks very good.
Fokker, and I thought that looked better than the really bright sort of stripy things that I had in the kit. I mean, it's all under wraps now. I've also can get rid of my centre seam, and I can spray the red. What have I lost? The fabric texture, but to be honest, was only noticeable on the undersides anyway. So nothing wrong with aviatic decals. It was just killing my mojo building it. So I thought, screw it. Took the decals off. They just peeled off, and then with a combination of airbrush and pencil, I've done the Fokker streaky pattern stuff.
What's pencil then? The streets?
So I did, basically, I can only demonstrate, but I was literally just whizzing the airbrush past like that fast, really quickly to get the stripes on.
Yeah.
I started with XF76, mixed in some LP75, and then the dark green was XF13. And the problem I had was I think the colours in the aviatic decal were too bright. It just looked bright and toyish, and every sort of World War I picture I've seen of, I mean, I know they're colorized, but they always look quite dark and muted. So I don't know if I can get this off, and I don't want to take it off because I'm going to spray it red. I've lost the barely perceptible fabric texture, but I can put that back in. I mean, the top wings here, you know, just got a bit dirty, but the top wings there in the stripes. And even though it's perhaps no better than the effect on the aviatic decals. It's an effect that I've achieved myself. So this is my Fokker DR1 now.
Which is what we were saying, wasn't it? It just felt a little bit like other
Somebody
people's
else's.
work, wasn't it?
Oh, it's RLM 65 underneath. And then the rest, this white area at the back, the rest of it that's white at the moment is going to be red. And it's Manfred von Richthofen's second, third DR1. I don't know. The one they had
You got a picture of the. You got a picture of the scheme, Nathan, that you're doing?
No, I'm working off an image on the computer, so I can put it up, but it's just red at the back. That bit's red.
Mm-hmm.
And the top wing, again, that area, anything that's in white is going to be red.
Nice.
Is it better than Aviatics? Nah. But it's mine.
Yeah.
What I don't get for such a good pilot, how come we got through so many different planes?
Oh. Maybe it's a bit like the Max Verstappen of the squadron.
Get crashing in.
Hard landing.
Yeah, he's never landed a plane in his life.
Oh yeah, he's a fantastic pilot in the air, but he couldn't land for bloody bugger all.
Because you always associate him with just a single red Fokker DR1, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But then when you actually look into it, there's like you got loads of different.
He had loads of DR1s. He had a few.
I bet he had loads of albatrosses as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. He had lots of aircraft.
I bet they weren't that sort of sturdy and reliable, so a few
Yeah,
ups
that's it.
and downs, and they were probably scrapped, so you just got another one. So
It was probably the pilot that took risks and probably ended up with loads of bullet holes in them.
Yeah, that's what Russell said. Everyone tried to kill him.
Do or die,
I
and you'd have
thought
a go.
I thought he was the one who didn't take risks until he actually got killed, because that's when he did. I thought he had his rules where he'd only engaged if he could kill, and then he was off.
But you'd think if he was the one that everyone was trying to kill, he won't fly around in a great big red
thing.
plane, would you?
Yeah, but it wasn't just him as well. Wouldn't his entire squadron used to be painted red?
Yeah, the flying circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read a few books on him, they say that towards the end his mental health really started to suffer with basically fatigue, and that was the cause of his death. Is he just didn't follow his own rules? He was knackered and burnt out and wasn't rested.
He had an head injury though that was pretty bad and brain damage. Weren't
Yeah, he had
changed his personality or something, or his
but constant headaches, and it basically you read his sort of reports, and it's just a complete loss of sort of mental focus because he was just knackered. But he was up every day
I bet
day after day.
a big part of it was PTSD as well.
Yeah, he had PTSD basically. Yeah,
You know, obviously it wasn't known in the day back in the day, was it? But
if you read his
what was it called? Lack of moral fibre.
Yes.
something like that.
yeah,
But
that's what it was probably called.
I think if he'd arrested and they'd arrested him properly, he wouldn't have made that. He just went after someone that he shouldn't have done. And basically, like Matt said, he had his own rules of going for a quick kill and out again, and he broke that rule and pursued someone.
Well, the thing is, he never looked for the down pilot, did he? And he did. He did a fly to see whoever he just downed, and that's when they shot him. Finger did it as well, didn't he? In his SE5. Oh God, the Irish bloke.
Who was it?
I can't think of his name, but he did the same thing. And I think so. Yeah.
I
was
think
there was an American as well, wasn't there, in the Second World War? Flew P-47s. Oh, he was an ace, wasn't he? I can't remember who it was.
Woodland, that's it.
But he got shot down doing exactly the same. He'd gone in, strafed an airfield, and he said the golden rule is you never went back a second time.
Yeah.
And he did. He thought, well, hang on, I'll go in and do another pass, and got shot down.
Yeah. Sad, really, isn't it? But, well, that's war, isn't it? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There you go. It's really. He's an interesting character, the Red Baron.
And now John's going to talk us through riveting, aren't you, John? Put your overhead on, John, and tell them what you've been doing.
Riveting.
He's been riveting.
Then what you remembered?
Yeah, or what you accidentally found in a drawer.
So I started working on the Stuka, and it's showing its age a bit.
It's old.
It's like a rough surface texture, and some of the detail is sort of fades out, and there's really nice riveting on it. So
Washing the dishes.
I'm painstakingly going through re-riveting, and I had me pin vise and drill bit, and was drilling them out, and then of course I was having to sand off like the waste and clean it out, you know, try and brush it out. And then just before we came on tonight, I was searching through my drawer, and I remembered last time I was at Matt's, I bought that rivet maker. So I've started going over it again and redoing it with this, and I've got to say, brilliant. Tedious still, but a damn sight quicker than trying to do it with a
Yes, definitely.
pin vise and drill.
Can I just say, for everybody who rushes off to try and buy one, we're out of stock until probably next week.
I can highly recommend them though. One of those things you probably don't use that often, but when you need to use it,
Yeah.
it's a godsend.
Yes.
Yeah.
The size of that thing is huge.
You get quite a good selection of sizes as well, don't you, in it?
Yeah,
All the
there's
different-
20,
Yeah. There is a review up there
22.
somewhere of that.
22 different sizes.
Jamie's just put that Grabeski hit his prop on the ground.
That's when you know you're too low.
Yeah, kicking dust.
Or the ground's too high.
Yes.
Yeah.
That annoying thud.
What scheme are you doing your Stuka in? Have you got your? Can you
I haven't got it handy, but it's one of the famous snake Stukas from JG2 in North Africa. So
Do you know?
it's just that thing with it. Was the snake just on one side, or was it on both sides?
Nobody knows, do they?
No.
Is there only one
All the
photo?
photos
then?
are on one side.
The only photos show there was 2 planes with the scheme, and they both only show
One side.
the one side, the port side. They don't show the starboard side. So,
No.
but I've got a while to go before I decide on that. So,
God, yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? I got feeling is symmetry.
yeah, the Germans, innit? I can't imagine it'd just be one on one side.
No, unless someone said we're only ever going to photograph it from this side, so don't bother with you.
Well, they say can't see both sides at the same time, so we'll just
Do one side and actually
set one
photograph.
side and the other side same. Yeah, I
So
don't
when
know.
you're
how-
flying
how-
past, can you always make a port pass? So it's just on the port side. Always circuits are always that side.
It'd be odd if it was just on one side, I reckon.
I'll probably do it on both sides because it will just look cool.
Let's see, it could have to have a bit of artistic license, I think.
Yeah.
So,
It'll be fine.
it will.
Christopher Riddle's back. He hasn't been in chat for ages.
Being on Ollybobs.
Has it been on Ollybobs?
He's just
Well,
had
you've
a vacation. Yes.
Where's a stay vacation? Is it what you call them? A stay.
He's been camping in his garden.
Yeah.
Vacation away from us.
Yeah.
No full rest for anybody.
Well, you've caught us probably on the flattest night of the year. 'Cause we're all knackered.
It is, yeah. Right, should we do a few questions? Oh,
Yeah,
wrong picture. There we go. So, first up, we have a texture issue. Sebastian is saying, hi guys, hoping you can help to figure out what I did wrong. You can see it on the image below that I did these steps. He's painted it navy blue, aka real colours. He sealed it, applied the decals, left them for about 4 months, and then he's applied the semi-gloss light coat a day before and allowed to dry. Then he's applied the wash over the model, and as he's pointed out here, it's very gritty, and he can't get it off. That's actually just caught in the texture. That's not the wash, that's the texture of your paint, which we've spoken about on a video which is in here somewhere. I do it all about textures in here. So actually what you're creating is what I've tried to create. So by giving some texture to your model and making it a little bit rougher in certain areas. So when we were doing the post shading underneath the white, so if you remember back when we did the white section on the Vulcan, I spoke about breaking it up, but also I was doing it sort of making more texture. So that's why these panels in here aren't all the same, and some of these panels are different. So when we were going around doing these things, also it was a slight difference in texture. So the grime of the wash gets caught in that. So where you've got it on yours in here, it's doing the same thing. And I know you're saying about you was worried about rubbing it too hard and too wet because it will come out the panel lines. Honestly, it won't. What you want to use is a little bit of warm water on a bit of kitchen roll and just give it a really nice rub. And the harder you rub it, the more you come out. Warm water as well will soak in and lift it off really, really quickly. But don't worry about the panel lines. It will stay in there unless you want to get it out with a toothbrush. And that way, just come along with some warm water on a toothbrush or a brush and just wash it out of there. Another way of doing it, and I showed it on the Vulcan one as well, is if you find it gets stuck and it's gripped, because what it is, it's below the surface, so it can't actually get to it, is give it a very light rub with an old worn out sounding sponge. So if you've got a polishing sponge, that's brilliant. But if you've got an old worn out like blue one, something else like that, you can literally just give it a light rub over the panels and then give it a wipe over and you'll take it out. And what you can actually do is make up some really, really interesting weathering, which is how I did, thinking about it, I can give you a better one than that one. It's how I did the Vulcan, the B52, sorry. So on the B52, which is in here, wherever we built it, where's the B52? No, further back. Down. Oh, there it is.
Four.
Left. So down in here is exactly how we did the B52. So B52 wash goes on, all the rest of it, no problem at all. And then we just rubbed it off, but we left the grime in. So, and I don't think we've got any more photos of it, have I? I've not got in this section. I've got other photos of it. I'm basically going around to break it up and make it, no I haven't, typical, they're obviously in a different area, but you can actually then have it where it shows, oh yeah they are, sorry they're not in order. So going off you can see this is what I've recreated, this is just the wash, it's not post shading or anything else, just to go in. And then you take it out panel by panel and obviously you've got the griminess in there. So depending on how much you rub it and how much you wet it, the more you take off. So these panels here I just took more off. So, and that's the great thing. So that grippiness isn't actually a bad thing. So there you go, it's a better one. So these two panels here, that was just a lot more moisture, a bit warm water and a lot of rubbing onto it. And then rubbing in these and all the rest of it and doing it in different areas. Obviously it just gives it breaks up the entire feel of it. And then obviously when you get onto bigger areas, it all sort of makes sense because everything as it would be is panelled out differently. So and there she is going through, so you can see how it works. So don't think that's necessarily wrong if you want a grimy model. If you wanted it absolutely just a panel line wash or a pin wash, then you'd be better off putting down a gloss coat onto this one, couple of coats of gloss, so it's like a mirror, and then that way all it'll do is get stuck in the recesses. But obviously on here it just gives a little bit of texture, and that's why here you can actually see it coming through on the texture on it. If we zoom in, you can actually see the texture of the paint. And all it is just slightly lower than the paint is, so it's actually holding it up. But it's not a bad thing, I think it's a good thing, because you can actually
I quite like the effect. It looks like it's been in Guadalcanal for 6 months.
Well, this is it. You can do some really nice. I would rather have it like that and have to work away, because if it's too clean, it just comes off too easy. And again, if you're doing like, if you watched at the weekend when I was doing the Vulcan weathering, the classic example is to that is that because you've got a little bit of texture on there, it grips. So if you're coming along and obviously doing like we did with the Vulcan with oils on top, the oils get caught in it as well, but they blend a little bit better. So consequently you can sort of, you know, manipulate them around, and to get the sort of what we did with the Vulcan to have it looking really, really nice, you know, you can go through and really bring those up. So if I just show you the Vulcan, which is in here, that we just finished, on the reveal photos, just down here, which is like down in here, you can see how we got the sort of the subtle changes of the colour. Again, you couldn't do that. If that was a nice glossy surface, it'd be really difficult to get it to go in and blend and all the rest of it, because as you would be brushing it to take it off, it just wipes away and it doesn't actually stick to the surface. And that's one of the nice things with it. And that's why I often say texture is either your friend or your enemy, because literally you don't want texture when you're painting, but as soon as you've technically got your decals down and you want to put some weathering into it, you just want to leave it in there, so that way the oils get a chance to grip to it. Obviously the actual, you know, clay washes really stick to it and things like that, so it can just give you a nicer sort of look to it generally. But yeah.
The thing is with the wash, it's basically just a posh dirt in water, isn't it? So what better way to represent
The highly refined product that took 5 years of research.
I'm putting it into basics. There's no better way if you want to represent dirt on your model. It's
Posh.
It's the ideal way, isn't
Posh
it?
dirt. That's it.
Posh dirt. I think you ought to rename it, Phil. Posh
That's
dirt.
it. Posh dirt. You know, the thing is, you often get people and they turn around with the wash and say, "Oh, your wash has ruined my model. Look, it stained it." You know, like I've always said, if you get a bit of this and you put it on your worktop, and like this worktop here is really, you know, sort of rough and textured. This isn't the smoothest one here. But you come along with your wash and you put it down on here, let that dry. It doesn't stick to it. It just wipes off. But if you take it off with a dry cloth, you'll leave it in all the texture. You know, so it won't come away. As soon as you add water, pulls it all off and you're good to go.
Oh, God, you got to rename it now, Phil. You can't call it Florida Wash anymore,
Posh
mate.
dirt wash.
Posh dirt in a bottle. What a
Finest
name.
dirt on my plastic.
It's
Absolutely.
so brilliant. Yeah.
I had a guy the other day who was complaining because it's too thin. And I was like, it's a wash. What do you want it to do? Paint your model in it? He said, oh, it's very thin. It's very watery. It's a wash.
So
You know, it's not designed for painting it on to cover in one. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
Am I front runner to take over the marketing now? Am I?
Yes. Yeah. Brand manager, we'll call you. You're my branding manager.
I tell you, he's now going to be a posh dirt connoisseur, aren't you?
That's it. 50 Shades of Dirt.
Proper dirt snob.
That's it. I get my dirt from the back garden like Peckham Spring. Yeah, take the twigs and snails out of it and you're good to go.
Yeah, price is going up, absolutely.
That's it. It's got to be worth more then.
You want to know what's in the grime.
Yeah, don't ask what goes in the grime. Right, David says that he's just installed his first set of Edard pre-coloured seatbelts. They look great, but what a faff in 1/72nd. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it always gives my cockpit a quick wash, and the question is, are you okay to use a wash on pre-coloured photo etch like these belts or the Yuma instrument panels? I know that I should have tested before this stage, but I forgot until I've glued it in. You should be fine. I don't have a problem with them. I usually enamel washes over them, and I always give them an enamel wash just to give them that sort of worn look to it. And the same goes with the panels as well normally.
Yeah, I usually flat coat them as well afterwards. Put all sorts
that's
on
good
top of
too.
them.
With PE.
Yeah, gets rid of
Very
any sort of
good
weird.
PE, that.
And I've painted on them because sometimes when you back in the day you used to bend them, it used to split the painted, so they're quite tolerant.
When it peels back, it's a bit of pain, isn't it?
So they're tolerant of enamel paints, definitely. You're fine.
Yeah, because they do the steel sets with them now, isn't it? Which is obviously they're coloured on both sides as well, whereas before it was always just on one side. So if you couldn't really twist them to put them in, otherwise there'd be metal on the back. But now they're better. But sometimes they do split. If you bend them, they can split where they come delaminated. And again, a little bit of enamel wash over them always helps.
I mean, someone's saying you might just use the posh wash to be safe, but the problem is with the posh wash is when you turn to remove it, you might end up pinging your seatbelt
Photo etch off, yeah.
So
And again, like I always say, know your limitations. The posh wash, it's too bitey for doing that type of stuff. Like inside cockpits, it's a little bit more refined. If you're doing armour, fair enough, because you want it to be sort of muddy and stuff. But in cockpits, it's normally a grimy feel. So, you know, especially in 72nd, it'd be a little bit over the top using posh wash.
Yeah, you'll have no seatbelts left. I'm trying to get it off.
Yeah.
I'd use enamel wash or ink wash. Citadel do quite useful washes as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically an ink wash. I've never tried those oil brushes. Would they work? Those big things.
What, the oil brushes? Yeah, just thin down oil paint, isn't it?
They'd work.
I just said it'd work. It shouldn't be a problem, but yeah.
I personally think I'd rather they didn't do the seat belts in the pre-painted, because the seat belts is the one thing really where you want to anneal the photo etch in it. So you heat it up and let it cool down, and it makes it nice and bendy. But of course, if it's colour, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, sorry, changing the subject because the guy's talking about it. I've missed the touch in it because obviously it's the 15th birthday this month of the wash.
Yeah.
I should have done a limited edition posh wash.
Gold lids.
Gold lids or something onto it as well, and then charge 10 quid.
I tell you what you could do is you could spray one of the bottles gold and sell it as a one-off.
Yeah, a gold bottle.
Just go and spray the lids. Go and get a rattle can.
That's it. I'll go and spray a load of them, and away you go.
We did have a limited edition with silver lids once, didn't we?
Yeah, because we run out of the plastic. That was during COVID. We couldn't actually get plastic lids because they were all being used for other things, but we could get aluminium ones. So that's what we ended up doing. Sort of 5,000 aluminium bloody caps. So,
Gold label limited edition.
Yeah, that's it. So we could do it, and I could call it a very limited edition and charge 10 quid a bottle. And look, it's limited edition. I've got 20,000 of them.
That'd be cool.
And then when you've sold them all in a week, you can
just do another run. Due to popular demand, I'm bringing the limited edition back. How does that work?
Can't you have the gold, silver, bronze range?
We could do that as well. We just do that for like the light wash, because obviously that's the second oldest. It always started back in the day with the dark dirt, which used to be more of a grey actually in its old form. And then funnily enough, the light wash was more like the grey, because we couldn't actually make white clay because it always had bits of yuck in it, bits of twig, old dinosaurs and things. So I could never do white wash.
The one in the pump bottle, I think.
I've got one of those somewhere.
Yeah, well, the pump bottle was the first time we could actually get white clay, proper white clay. Couldn't get white clay before because, again, it always used to have, like marble, you get veins going through it and you could cut them out, but it was a bit of a faff. So, but when we got our first, what we call refined clay, and which means it's the posh stuff, that proper is posh clay, posh wash, that one. Then that was when we started doing the pump version. So it was the thicker version of, and then used to pump it up in the pump bottles. But to be honest, it was a really bad seller.
Yeah, I remember that was, you could use it for winter whitewash on tanks, weren't you?
Well, the first batch of it we did 1,000 of, and they went quite quick, and I thought, oh, that's good. And then I did a 5,000 batch run of it, and it just sat there forever, kicking it around for years. So that's why that got knocked on the head.
Russell's asking here, oil brushes, blooming gimmick, ? Yes and no.
And Neil's just had a point because Tony's put back a virtual tour of PM Empire, well, our unit, and yeah, it would mean we'd have to tidy up. It really would, because it's a right dump. At the minute, it's a proper dump. So there's not a lot to see, to be honest, because there's just stuff everywhere.
It's all right. We'll get it cleared out in the summer. It'll be fine. It'll be looking good.
Carl's got a good idea. You could do like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style gold bottle of wash. If you get the gold bottle of wash, you get a special prize, which is just some, maybe, I don't know, some sanding sticks that you sprayed gold as well.
Golden sanding stick.
Golden sanding stick. Yeah, until you use them.
Oh god, yeah.
Bits of gold all over your aircraft.
All of your fingers just covered in it.
Yeah, covered.
Oh, the stupid computer. You're not doing an update now. No.
No.
Every time on a Thursday it wants to do an update.
Windows 11. It wants Windows 11.
It's not that. I don't think it's even.
Will it
it's just
auto update to that on its own Windows 11 then, if you let it?
I don't know.
Are they going to
Probably
make you
not.
go to it?
You have to
No.
upgrade to Windows 11 because it won't. It might tell you to at some point, but I don't think it's going to make you.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think if you're on Windows Insider program, you can do it too as an upgrade, as a downloadable upgrade like that. But I think normally you have to go to the site and choose it from there.
Windows XP, that's what you want to be on.
Windows ME.
That one.
Blue screen of death with every hour. Okay, Mark says, hi all, just a big thank you for Flory Fest. I think I can speak for the rest of the Florians when I say you put on a very entertaining shows. And a big thank you to Paramjit and Airfix for letting me come on and hang out, which is good because originally he was going to come on for an hour.
Yeah.
Got our money's worth, didn't it? So, yes, no, massive thank you for him as well for spending the entire afternoon with us. Any chance we can have 2 a year? Maybe a summer bumper edition and one in October. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Whoa.
yeah.
We're gonna do one
After the
live.
success of this show, we may be thinking of one in the springtime.
I
When the
think
Bluebells come out.
I was
we
thinking
do
when
it
every
live. Torre Molinos. We're all sat around a plastic beach table. Yeah, Easter time, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we're thinking at Easter. One in Easter and one in October.
Yeah, we're thinking because obviously it has been a very good success all round, not just from a sales point of view, although that's very handy. But we are thinking we're probably going to do one in the spring. And like Matt pointed out, actually, it's almost like the end of the season and the beginning of the season for modelling. Because normally we get to May and it's like a cliff because everyone then goes off and does summery things. Unless you're in Australia, of course, and then it obviously works the other way. But, you know, from a lot of our members, obviously in the US, they have their more summer hobby, shall we say. And obviously us a lot as well. We don't like to be chucked staying indoors. So we thought, well, look, if we have one in for the end of the season, and then obviously October is traditionally, from a modelling point of view, now the evenings are pulled in, it normally goes up, and it shows in our figures, you know, every year. If you look at just people coming to the website, it always drops. There's a drop and then goes up again. So we thought that would be a nice, good points to have them. So we're going to go with 2 a year.
Yeah.
To start saving your pennies now, everyone.
Yeah, we probably won't have them literally on Easter weekend because we've got lives and things as well. So we'll probably do it after or something else like that, isn't it?
Or beginning of April.
April.
Yeah, we'll do it in April. We haven't actually come up with a date for that one yet, but obviously we will. We'll still do our other bits and peoples, like we'll do the turkey shoot because that's like, well, we've been doing it forever. So we still have to do the turkey shoot and our little special ones we do anyway. And,
I was having a thought because something we haven't done for a long time is auction.
no, that's right. Yeah, we've done an auction for
I thought we
ages.
haven't done one for a good few months, so we might have to dig out doing an auction as well soon. But obviously we've got thing at the end of November, haven't we? The turkey shoot.
Yes.
So we'll be doing that in a few weeks. I mean, and it will be a few weeks, won't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that will be a fun one to do.
No, that'd be a nice one. So say we'll do that one, and then I would say, I don't know, if maybe just after Christmas or something. Did we do an auction last year? Right after Christmas?
I think we did one around the Christmas time.
Was it around Christmas? Can't remember now.
We always do one like around in between Christmas and New Year, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Built, yeah. Whose stash is under the hammer?
We've done Nathan's. I bet Nathan's still got some left. I need to shift some stuff.
Yeah, I might need to shift some stuff.
Have a
There you
few
go.
and put up. It'll be a bit of everybody's, I think.
Mine might have got a bit of a reprieve. So
You are
I don't
already
know.
getting twitched. Andy's already getting twitched. You know, he's like, oh, I'm not sure. As soon as you mention auction, Andy gets dead defensive. Not my friend.
It's all right. We've all got a copy of your stash sheet on PDF. It's fine. We've already divvied it up. It's all right.
Turkey shoot doesn't have to be 72 scale, does it?
No, you could do whatever you want.
No, it's got to be.
Normally we do smaller ones purely because we need to do it in a weekend, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do bigger kits. It's just, can you finish it in like like 48 hours.
So what we're doing for Turkey shoot? What days are we doing?
It's the 23rd, 4th-ish of November, isn't it? Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
It's the last week end in November, isn't it? I think.
I seem to remember David Chandler said it's last Thursday in.
Yeah, it's 24th, 25th. We've got the dates, but I mean, what are we physically doing? At what days are we doing? Are we just doing the weekend, or are we doing?
I'm working Friday, so.
I was going to say, well, back in the day, we used to run from Thursday to Sunday night, wasn't it? But last year, I think we reined it in a little bit because we were doing COVID shows anyway at that point, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So it did change a little bit.
I think Thursday night, Friday night. I don't know. Don't know.
Well, we'll do a Thursday show anyway, like this.
I was going to say, we're always going to do a Thursday show. So
But we could, I presume we could just do a bit of a start on what we're building, sure.
Yeah, so we could start it on the Thursday night, run through, and then I think we'll do shows then. We'll just run through Saturday morning, afternoon.
Yeah, and
then
Sunday. Yeah. We're not doing Friday.
No.
No. Yeah. That's what you get what your family's like, don't you?
So it's a really straightforward one. What everybody tends to do, you just pick anything you like. And last year I did these guys thinking about, I couldn't remember what I did, but I've just seen them.
Oh yeah, you did your Angry Phoenix thing.
Yeah.
I did my Angry Phoenix. See them on the top better on my little stand, wouldn't it? We went for the Angry Phoenixes. Never did weather them. Didn't get the chance to actually weather them. Ooh, there's the best place to have them. There we go. Do them that way. So yes.
What I did. I did an A4 Skyhawk one year. I can't remember what I did.
Stick some posh dirt on them.
Yeah, that's what they need. Posh dirt. That'd be fine.
I think my Danks card might be full by that weekend, so we'll have to see.
It's that thing where you move things around on your desk and on back to front. There we go. Close enough. It's the gang.
I like the red eyes on them. They look fantastic.
Bless them. So anyway, it's basically you can do anything. I did them last year. Years before, we've done some real weirdo stuff. I just can't think what they were.
Newport, yeah.
Oh yeah, me Newport, wasn't it? Oh, me submarine. You made me build a bloody 1/1000th scale submarine as well one year, wasn't it?
I've still got one of them somewhere in his stash, you know.
I've still got one, I've got one in a box. It's back at work now.
I used to just basically buy a piece of crap at Telford and give you it all. I could do that this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got that submarine. I've still got it somewhere as well, that resin.
I think me and Andy had the right idea with them Forces of Valley kits. They were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah.
Might do another one of them. They're easy and quick.
I might go and buy you all the shit kit from Telford.
No.
I
then
have
again,
him
you might
still, and he's got rigging.
I still think it'll be a good idea one year for us, the five of us, to do like a Secret Santa one.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God, you know it's going to be awful.
It will be absolute car crash friendly.
Yes.
Pick a names out the hat in it, and then we've each got to get each other a.
Do a Secret Santa out of our own stashes, but then Nathan's still got some pretty dodgy stuff in his.
Ooh, what's this? A back form Bristol fighter.
Yeah, there you go. Yes,
I'd be giving away an Ed Hard limited edition thing or something, and Nathan will be giving
Yeah.
Piece of crap.
1960s back form kit.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Adam says, evening gents, any idea when the Airfix 48 scale Vampire and AMK F14 Tomcat are due to be released?
No.
It's like
No.
a $64,000 question, isn't it?
No.
No, but
I imagine the Tomcats are probably on the slow boat from China.
So is the Airfix one.
Yeah, probably the same. To be fair, probably the same with the Airfix one. Yeah. It's still shipping. Still seem to be slow.
We asked Pranjit on Sunday about the Vampire, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or I did. And he didn't know, so there you go, there's your answer. It's got to be soon, surely. I think Has it appeared in Airfix magazine yet? Does anybody know? Because I don't thingy magazines now. But if it's had a build thread in an Airfix magazine over the last month or whatever, then it's due. It's due out soon.
I think it was in last month.
Was it?
Edition. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
There you go. Last month. So I'd say it's probably due. Perhaps back end of this month, beginning of next. But I don't want to put my money on it. But yeah, normally they're not too far behind.
See, the Tomcat is available, isn't it, in the Far East? So,
What, the AMK one?
yeah,
Yeah, we're just waiting for an order to come in.
yeah.
Aren't we?
So it'll be on its way over to
Yeah.
the supplier. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on one of those Vietnamese. What are they called? Those Chinese boats, the sailing ones, the old-fashioned
junk.
one.
A junk.
Yeah, that's it. It's on a junk going dug, 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 clearly, and then just falls over and sinks.
Hey, we're in a conversation about food
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I
Still-
do see it. Well, they're on about
Turkeys.
turkeys for Christmas, aren't they? I know. I was just thinking at that.
Ham at Christmas sounds really nice because I'm bored of turkeys already.
I always have my turkey crown, which is literally the size of a
Turkey.
It's
turkey.
massive.
Hey, it's the size of an ostrich.
Jesus, I got it slightly wrong. Not last year, the year before, because I always cook Christmas dinner. It's sort of my thing, and I went to order it, and I don't know. It's like, well, how many people are you feeding? And I was like, I don't know. Can I have it? And I can't even what size I ordered, but I remember because I showed you lot the photo, wasn't it? It turned up. I swear, it's like that big, that tall. It's only feeding 2 of us, so consequently, we had turkey for quite a long time. Still to come, and in fact we were still eating frozen turkey and gravy because I sliced it all out and put it in the freezer only to a few months ago. It's like, yep, still got them.
Do the Americans have turkey for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, or just Thanksgiving?
It's up to them.
Mm.
I think turkey twice within a month. I think a lot of people in the
Say
States.
what?
Something else.
We have it about 500 times in a month, so
Yeah,
Yeah, but
both.
turkey's not
Oh.
even that nice.
See, I think if I'd have had turkey, a big turkey dinner in November, I'd want to have a ham. Like Lynn
yeah,
said,
David
ham.
said they're both, yeah.
I'd
So,
rather
yeah,
have
both.
ham.
Two
Goose
turkeys.
is nice.
That's why I just have a crown. I don't bother with all the rest of the turkey
Yeah,
because
we
it's
just have a
crap.
crown.
So I usually just have a crown and then keeps
Yeah.
it all nice and moist.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't turkey an American import for Christmas? Didn't we used to have goose back in the day?
Goose is nice.
What did they have in Bob Cratchit's house on Christmas
Oh,
Day?
Cratchit.
Not roast.
Yeah.
Not roast. Vegan, not roast.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Miss Piggy in it and Kermit the Frog, or are we talking the other version?
Goose. Goose is the. I think the tradition up north was lamb.
See, I could eat lamb.
We've lost the
Christmas dinner.
tradition.
I could.
But I don't know. I think if I was in the States and had a turkey dinner, I'd have something else at Christmas.
Hmm.
But it's horses for courses, isn't it?
It's that we have turkeys and then you have it for Christmas Day and then
Boxing
Christmas-
Day.
Christmas
and
Eve and Boxing Day and then, yeah.
Sandwiches for the first day back
Yeah.
at work.
I have to do my bubble and squeak on Boxing Day. That's the thing. I always cook me roast, and then I keep all my veggies and back, and then chop them up. It's bubble and squeak with cold turkey and pickle on Boxing Day. Job done.
That brown sauce on it.
Apart from the year I had a pasty.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
my other
was
half
it-
was working, so I actually had a pasty with all the trimmings.
Was it a turkey pasta?
It was, yeah.
Brilliant.
Traditional Cornish Christmas dinner. I had a pasty with all the trimmings on it.
In pastry. Lovely.
It was lovely, actually.
Neil says in Christmas Carol they went to Witherspoons.
That's a
Yeah.
modern reinterpretation of Christmas Carol. Turkey Twizzlers at Wetherspoon.
I've got to say though, right, because my mother-in-law got the M&S Christmas food catalogue thing that they have.
Hmm.
I'd be bankrupt because there's some proper nice looking stuff in that.
Yeah.
Oh, I could eat
Whilst
that.
we're on the thing of food, I tell you what I bought when I was shopping on Monday. I bought some stollen.
Oh, I like that.
'Cause that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a taste of
Yeah.
Christmas, isn't it? As soon as you open
Yeah.
it, it's like Christmas has arrived. It was in
Yeah.
Tesco's, and I was like, I've got to have a bit of that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's it.
What is that, Lynn's? We had Tadurkan one year. What the hell's that?
See, I love marzipan, but Cheryl don't like marzipan, so she won't eat stollen. And
No, that's
Stollens.
it. Tams won't eat it either, so that's why I'm quite lucky.
Then you get the whole stollen to yourself.
But this is true.
Battenberg cake had marzipan round it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've said that for ages. I'll tell that's on the shopping list.
What's that thing? I don't know. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, everybody's that's it.
I was going to say, everyone's just on about food now, that's it.
I'm going to have like a massive supper now to put this sort of hunger to bed.
I had a nice steak pie with mashed potatoes and peas for my team in gravy.
What's turducken?
I don't know what turducken is. I was asked that.
Is that turkey and duck mix then?
Oh, is that the one where you put the thing in the thing?
Yeah.
It's like a 5-bird roast, but
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, like 5-bird roast where it's all sort of wrapped together, isn't it? All the different ones.
And the partridge.
Not where a turkey and a duck get a bit jiggy and
Yeah.
No, it's not a cross, a mutant cross.
Yeah.
I'm off to my. I'm off to my sisters, so they're vegan, so I don't know what I'm getting.
It needs a better name though. Turd ducking is.
Chicken in a duck in a turkey. This sounds like that centipede.
Yeah, so I was right, wasn't I? Look inside
The human centipede. Oh dear. Right, let me do the last part of this question.
Go on, then.
I'm following on from Florifest, where I spent Sunday morning sorting through my 134 kits I have in my stash and looking for next year's group builds. I was thinking about stash organisation. How do you guys go about keeping your stash organised, and at what point do you consider the stash to be too large? Andy, over to you.
I've got an Excel spreadsheet that my wife is very handily good at Excel, so she can make it so that you click on the tabs and it sorts them all out. So basically, I've got it set for manufacturer, the
Scale.
kit name, the kit number, scale, any aftermarket. And then I've got trying to think now. Basically, all different information that I want, but I've also got things like what type of thing it is. So it's aircraft or a car or a helicopter. What country it's from, so US, USSR, British, etc. Just so that I can click on it and, if
Can
I
I
want
just say something? It's just occurred to me, Matt, that he's got his stash more organised than you have the store.
Well, that's very true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I've got a lot less than him. My stash than is in the store.
Not much.
Not much less. To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm expecting spreadsheets now then of the store stock.
Yeah.
Right.
Just means that if I want to, say if I'm looking for a US aircraft for a build or something, I can click on the tab and it'll put all the US aircraft together and it'll look through them all. If I want to look for an airfix kit or whatever, I can just click on it and it'll group them all together. And yeah, just dead easy.
Yeah, but does that actually help when you have to go and find that item in your stash?
Right. Another thing I've also got is the location of it. So in my 3 locations where I keep them in the house, so at least I know whereabouts to look. So either under my desk, above in the cupboards above my work desk, or in the bedroom, in the cupboard, in the wardrobe in the bedroom. So those 3 areas, I know at least know where to look.
So is it like F4 Phantom, Shell's knicker drawer, is it?
Yeah. Basically.
And as for too large, no, you can't have too much.
No,
Over the years, my stash has sort of gone completely out of control. A few years back now, to nothing hardly here at all when we first started with PM, to sort of creeping back a bit, but now it's under control. It's only in here, whereas before I used to have it in here and in the office and a few other places as well, under the house as well at one point. But
Neil says, Matt, who's doing stock take this year? Matt's put my stuff. Let's be actually right. Last year, it was Shell that did it.
Yeah, my stuff. Time stuff.
Unpaid stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, my wife came over with me for a couple of days, didn't she? We did a.
yeah.
I've David, I've got about probably about 280, 290 now. It always seems to hover around the 300 mark. Then I seem to get rid of some, and then it seems to build up again, and it like get rid of some, and it's always hovers around that sort of mark.
I must admit, I've been having an eye on whether to have a bit of a cull.
I've got a retail value for, not for insurance, but I've got a retail value just on my spreadsheet, which begins with a 1.
And that's 4 zeros after it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not sure what comes after the 1.
9, and then a 9.
It's not a 9. No.
Oh God, I'm not answering this question.
And we called yours.
We could still take another. I've basically got some sort of an organisation that I've got Luftwaffe stuff there. I've got Tornado stuff down there, and RAF and US and MiGs. So I've generally sort of organised it.
See,
I've no idea how many I've got.
Your stash, a lot of it. I mean, I don't do 1/10 scale modelling.
Yeah.
And I've probably got, in my stash, I've probably got, I don't know, 6, 7 1/10 scale. Everything else is, yeah, from 48, 32nd.
Mine's in a bit of a mess at the moment, so I'm not swinging.
Jamie says, and that's, Jamie, how many Jamie got?
30.
I've got 12 teeth.
25 too many.
I think I've probably got 200 hits.
I used to be in that thing that if I saw it, I thought I like it, or if I saw a build on the forums and I liked it, I'd buy it because you know that eventually it's not going to be in production. Even the easy to get stuff like Airfix.
Yeah. Can't get the chopping stuff 6 months.
You can't get the stuff for a while, and it's like, yeah, well, all the Edar limited edition stuff. To fair, nowadays I don't really buy nowhere near as many as I used to do at all.
Because you work in a model shop, take the gloss off it.
Yeah, and so like, yeah.
It does actually.
Yeah.
It does.
Does it really? Don't me. Like, you just put it on the shelf, don't you? It's there.
Yeah.
If it sells, happy
I think the
days.
difference is now knowing someone that's got a model shop is that if you know that if you want a particular kit, you can get it. It's not a case of like, you know, you go somewhere, you see it, or I better buy that because I might not see it,
Yeah.
you know, or might not get it easily again.
That's
Yeah.
what they're saying, Phil, is, right? We've took the fun out of them shopping.
Yes.
That's what they're saying to us.
No, wait, just ignore.
Somebody just said
Sometimes-
about we need to open a model shop. We've got one better. We've got a warehouse. Well, instead, it's
if I didn't work at PA Models, I'd probably have a bigger stash.
Oh, you would.
Because there are kits that I look at, you think, oh, that's a nice border models or rifle tank or something, or yeah, that mini base flanker, and I'd have probably had one of them, but you just don't know.
I think it definitely, from my point of view, it has taken the sort of gloss off of getting the kits and the various things, because again, like me and Matt, we can get them in, whereas before some things are quite difficult to get or anything else, but because we know a lot of suppliers and stockists and things like that as well, we can probably get it, unless it's completely out of production, then we're up against the wall. But then we've got Andy to fall back on. So if I was desperate for it, I'd say I need it for a build, and he'd fess up. Otherwise, he gets sacked.
Yeah.
So it's under his contract. But to be honest, I am lucky as well, because over the years, some of the members have helped me out with various things as well when I've been desperate, and somebody said, "I've got one, you can build it," and things like that as well. So that often helps.
And also, like, we're putting in orders pretty much every day, or talking to suppliers every day about getting kits in, and then you're getting the deliveries in all the time. It's all like you're seeing them anyway, aren't you? You sort of like.
I think there's new kits come along though. It's still that thing where if it's a new release or it's something that hasn't been out before, when they rack up, it's quite exciting.
It's like when the Heinz the other day when we were like when they came in, which that'll give people a surprise when they see that.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, we're not saying things though.
Yeah,
You can discover that for yourselves. That's going to be good.
But when we look at the hinds, it's nice to have a look at them. It's like, yeah, they go, that looks nice. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it's good.
Wait for the complaints.
Yeah, we'll wait for the emails. I will say.
Yes.
Very mysterious.
It is. It'll get them going till they get them. But yeah.
Yeah, come on, hurry up and finish then, because we can get off there and you can tell me.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock. That's it. We're finished. 9 o'clock.
Is it one of those where it's a massive box or a really small one? That's the
No.
other ones where you're like, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger.
No, nothing like that at all.
Do we have kits scared to build? Do we have a kit in the stash? Or just like, oh no, not that one.
Yeah, bison.
Yeah. I don't have any of them scared to build. It's just like ones that have not got round to building yet.
They're all like that, aren't they? But there is one possibly that for a long time I was reluctant to build was the Tamiya P51 Mustang 32. But I think if I'm in the mood, I'd build it now.
Yeah.
When I bought it like 10 years ago, it was like, ooh. But now I'd have a crack at it.
Yeah. Lynn says lots of wings kits. I don't want to screw them up.
Yeah, I've got a Wingnut Wings Richthofen Albatross D5 there, and I'm thinking, just come on, someone else release that so I can actually build it, because I don't want to touch that one. That's not what I bought it for. There's nothing I'm frightened of building. There's stuff I definitely look in this,
No, I must admit, I'm lucky with my stash. Now I've had a big cull of it a few years ago. Everything that's here is just stuff I would want to do or have plans on. So I've got nothing down here. I've got a couple of ones. I've got the Avantique resin kit. Oh yeah, but that was actually a review sample that was sent to us.
Yeah.
That scares the absolute hell out of me. I'd rather do the HPH Tiger Cat than that.
Which was that aviatic thing?
Yeah, because that is just on another planet. You know, it literally has got so many details and parts to it. I think it's not a problem building it. I can do it. It's just that the time I think it would take to do it, that really puts me off.
That's what my stash is. When I went up the other day, to be honest, because my stash is up on the office roof of Leslie's office. So where all these can normally see their stash, mine's in boxes out the way, so I can't. But I did decide to go up because I need now. Our move has been postponed, shall we say? I'm stuck in the shed because I wasn't supposed to be in here today. Full stop. So I'm thinking, well, I've cleared a lot of it out. I'm not going to bring it back because we will be going, but I'm just going to have like the basics I can just fiddle around and build in here. So I look through the stash and it is like, well, that's going to take how long, and that's going to, and it kind of talking myself out of doing stuff because I'm thinking of either the parts cat or the can I be bothered sort of thing. So I actually pulled down because I have got my collection of dragon kits. I'm going to build that.
Oh, cool.
Which is actually not one of the super duper kits. It's actually very basic. I didn't realise how basic it was. It's only got like 15 steps and it's finished. And not even a lot of overparts for a dragon kit. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
The stuff in blue is not what you don't use, and that's pretty good because normally you get sheets and stuff where you've got, the super kits. I'm actually quite looking forward to doing that.
Russell says in chat, it says, good timing. Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skulls have just started.
Yeah.
Peter's not going through his Matchbox kits again, is he?
Carl's got an Echelon Lightning in 132. That I'd be nervous of building because you've got no chance, like you said, you've got no chance of getting another one.
Yeah.
The worrying trend I've got with my stash lately is it's the size of the kits that I've got.
Yeah.
The size of the finished models. You look at the shelf here with the big Russian bombers I've got on that. If I build them, it's where the bloody hell am I going to put them?
Hey, now I can show you because you haven't seen my new one, have you? Look, John, you need to get them on the wall. Hold on, let me just. Because look, the Vulcan's up there now.
What are you doing with the tail?
Ah, see?
Oh,
Clever. No, it's in one piece as well. Look how I've done it. We've got the holders on the bottom.
Ah.
Is it
now
just sat
she's-
there then?
She's on the nose wheels on the wall, and she's sat there.
Sort of angled slightly.
Yeah, so instead of having it the other way, hanging
Oh.
down, she's pushed up. She's hanging on the bottom.
Maybe we don't have an earthquake.
Well,
I couldn't
hopefully.
say.
Luckily,
That's-
Devon's not renowned for earthquakes, so I should be all right.
That looks a bit curious to me, but there you go.
Fury.
Now, to be honest, I have given it some testing and that, and you can probably give it a wobble, because the great thing with the hangers, you can have her quite out so it's facing in.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's spread quite wide. I did give it a bit of a tug and a wobble and everything on there to make sure first. And yeah, it's not going anywhere. So that's
What
all
about
right.
what about the Vulcan?
Yeah, that's it. The hanger will be fine. Just no Vulcan on it. Funny enough, the funny bit, I was by the Ralph had an op yesterday and everything was in darkness and all the rest of it. And we sat in there watching telly and it was literally, I heard plastic fall. It was like that sound of plastic. And I thought, shit, the Vulcan's just fallen off. So it's like, turn the light on, come in here. It's like, and it's like, oh no, it's still there, thank God. But something in here. And she said, oh, it's just a bit cooling down or something. But to me, it sounded like plastic falling off. And I thought I'd come in and find the Vulcan's like slid off. Never mind, it'll be fine.
Cool.
But no. And I've got a space now, so I need to get one in there to go up. But it can't be that big to fill that hole.
That's the 48 SR71 then you're going to build.
Oh, is it? Do you know what? I don't think it'd fit. I think it'd be too long.
Tall.
Yeah, it is.
I actually do not think that'd be fit. It would fit in there. It would have to cover off the paint rack.
I know something you can put in there when it's out and you've built it. The Razor Quest.
Yes, that
That'd
would.
be a cool
Yeah,
wall
that'd be
hanging.
quite cool hanging up there. Yeah. That's
A
it.
that's not a bad shout. A hustler. Cool.
Yes, exciting times coming. We've actually got some nice releases coming down the line.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's like I say, this month I reckon we're going to get quite a few of the Broncos due out, isn't it, from ICM, and I think there's a few others actually due out. So, did you see we've put up the Italeri Jaguar?
I did, and I have to say, there's some absolutely fantastic schemes for it, isn't it?
I've got that tab open here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll show the
Got
people.
your name down,
'cause-
Nathan.
I'm thinking
Robert,
of it.
those guitar hangers you can get from Amazon.
Yeah, I paid literally £6 for 6. They're dirt cheap. It's only these things. Look, I still got one here. I got one left. They do. They come in packs of 6, and they're just guitar hangers. That's it. But they do. They come in a pack of 6 off of Amazon. Dirt cheap.
6 guitar hangers in a pack. That's what a big guitar
Yeah.
clip. I like the second marking on this. Are you going to show it? Because it's
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
grab it.
Yes.
the one that's in the background looks well cool. Second markings look sweet.
So I like the camouflage one with the
Golf.
with the Gulf fuel tank on it.
Yeah. What kit is it? Is it re-release?
That's the recce pod,
there,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
Is that the recce pod or the fuel tank? I think that's the recce pod, wasn't it?
Is it?
Could be.
Because you built the 2-seat one as a video build a long, long time
Yeah, I
ago.
did. Yeah, back in the day, I did the 2-seat version.
Perhaps you ought to revisit the single seat.
Yeah, do you know what? That was a lovely kit. It went together really, really well.
I did what kit I built? Is this the Hasegawa one?
Yeah, you got
I've got the Revell Jaguar. I don't know if that's the same kit as the Italeri one.
It is. It
Well,
is.
I've got the Revell box in, and that's nice. That's a nice kit as well.
Yeah.
I did the Italeri one in Gulf markings years ago when I was building the 32nd Tornado because I wanted to test the colour of the paint. I thought I would build something smaller, so I did the.
So I'd highly
Did one of
recommend.
Ooh, look, show us the glue.
Where's the jumper scene?
Oh God, what's that?
That was saying don't use that other stuff.
What's the tube glue?
Yeah,
Umbral glue.
yeah.
Christ, how old is this?
This is a very old one. This one is about 2000-ish. 2000.
Oh yeah, you just see the jumper.
Yeah.
Did the Jag come in service in the 70s?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it did.
Japanese group build.
There you go. Prime for the 70s group build. So yes, we've got it up on pre-order if anybody's
Hey,
interested.
look, Squadron Green.
Yeah.
Well, that's proper.
Proper filling that is. I probably
said
just went
proper
completely
filler.
overkill.
But I say you need to rebuild it, just see if you need that much filler.
Do you know why? That's because I was using inferior sanders in those days.
Is that what it is?
Because I hadn't invented mine yet.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Hold on, where are we? Oh, look. Gate of glue.
Blimey, thing of the past, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't get that anymore, can you?
Well, not over here. I think it is still available out in the States, in it, but not here.
We just had trouble with it freezing in the air, wouldn't it?
Is that what it was?
Apparently, yeah. They had sent a load over and the entire batch was ruined.
The Jaguar is probably one of those kits, one of those aircraft.
Do you know what? Phil's camera work is like mine now. 20 years ago. You know, mine's a bit sharper, but it still have to manually zoom in and out, and then.
That's what it was. One camera with manual zoom. That was the good old days to it.
I haven't seen Phil's head in it yet, though.
Oh, I always had my camera in front of me to the side. It's at the sort of 2 o'clock position. I always did it that way. The only thing is, in a minute when I start spraying it, you can't see what I'm spraying.
So is Matt's, and he still gets his head in it.
Yeah, but I can't see what I'm doing.
God, the days of pre-shading, eh?
Hey, look, can you see I'm actually using extra acrylics on this?
Oh, Jesus. God.
Look at that cutting mat. Nice and clean.
No
Christ knows what I've been working on it at that point.
And no infinity board either, is there?
No, it just goes to show how far the hobby's come on, isn't it?
And
Yeah,
our 4 Phil's come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
X28 for thinners, God.
There we go. Look, can out the markings. To be honest, I have fond memories of this kit. It was actually a really nice kit. I'm hoping this is the last part, but it's not. Hold on, let me just go. I can't remember it. This is one of the
I think it's just one of
multi-part.
those aircraft that people love. You know,
I like a Jag. I thought the Jag would call aircraft.
look cool.
It just, yeah, it did.
Quite basic aircraft. Really. I'm tempted. I've got the blooming tab open.
Just get your name
Homemade FOD covers. Look, see.
down. Right.
I was a pioneer back in the day, clearly, because it's got a little remove before flight tag on it. That I didn't even bother painting them. It's just on red card, so that'll do.
The old Airwaves.
It is, yeah. It's an Airways set, and I'm just nicking the red card from it, using it as a pod cover. That'll do. Roughly trim it to size.
No, he's still got grey in his ear though. Look.
I think that's just the lighting.
It's one of those aircraft where the 2-seater looks better than the one single-seater.
Ah, blob of blue tack on the back of it.
Yeah, blob of blue tack, hold it in place, and you're good to go. See? No messing around.
Proper job.
Proper modelling.
You painted the edges.
I think I might pop round with the Sharpie at that point. Although I might not have.
Probably not.
I was young, I needed the money.
There you go.
There it is. Bless it. To be honest, that kit, again, we often talk about kits that, you know, very underrated. Because that kit stands up today as good as, you know, and that was, say, 20 years ago.
I'll tell you what, Airfix have got to do one. It'd be criminal if they don't.
David, yes, that's the proper way to pronounce Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Jaguar,
Jaguar.
not Jaguar. In America,
You know what?
Jaguar, yeah, no, it's Jaguar.
I'm still waiting for Airfix to step into the Jaguar/Tornado. They've done the Harriers from that sort of time period. Time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they should. Yeah, it'd be a good subject for them to do. I really do.
Probably in 72.
I reckon 72.
Yeah. We'll see. Won't be long, we'll know. A couple of
Look,
months.
Pro Modeler with Phil Flory. Look, we even had titles in those days.
Oh, rolling titles as well.
God.
Nice.
Tell me we don't do those anymore.
Oh,
Should bring those back.
Like 20 years old, that is.
Me and Andy was trying to think of a good production company name, weren't we?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I think for yours,
videos.
What did we end up with?
Andy would get producer and editor credits, wouldn't he?
He
Yeah.
will, that's it.
Another
Yeah.
soggy when wet production.
It's something, yeah, we was gonna, we did come up with some pearlers, didn't we?
You did, I bet
You had
you did.
the you won't have the Nottinghamshire telephone directory, do you?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course, I don't mean Doncaster. I mean Yorkshire.
On the Nottinghamshire telephone directory,
Yeah,
there's A up me duck on the front of it.
that's what we should have. Eh?
I thought that'd be a good.
We should. But it's good
Hang on.
because obviously,
Hang
what?
Telephone directory.
Yeah,
All the
it's only
notes.
about that thick now, and about that.
It's got one page in it.
Yeah.
We don't have
Fair. It's the first time I can remember having one for years.
not seen a telephone directory.
Remember the yellow pages?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the other one as well? Thompson Local, wasn't it?
That
Yeah.
Thompson Local, that was it. Yeah.
Right.
So-
I tell you what, when I was a young lad, the amount of people you get in trying to flog you, the space in them, wasn't it? You know, Jesus, every year they'd turn up trying to flog you an advert space in the yellow pages. At least they don't have that anymore.
There you go. We could be called Mildly Moist Productions.
That's it, Mouldy Moist Productions. That's
Robert
it.
says, I was watching an old Florey episode the other day, proper rant going on. Who was Tim?
Oh, yeah, we don't talk about Tim. Tim, nice but dim.
That's why we don't pay
That's why we don't talk about it.
I like
That's it.
this one though that Neil's put up. This is a posh Flory Wash production. Posh Wash production, that's what we should call it, Andy.
Yes.
But Posh Florey Wash Production.
No, Posh Wash production.
Posh Wash Productions.
I think that's good. That's a good name. Write that down. I like that.
Mark,
The
you're
Valiant.
saying about the Valiant.
Yeah, the Valiants are on the way in.
Yes.
So Andy will be dishing out invoices as soon as they're in. We'll wait till they're in, then we'll do it, and then we'll get them out as soon as
Yeah,
we
but
pay.
they're due in any second now, isn't it? So
So we'll either get them late tomorrow or
Monday, I would have thought.
Monday. So I'll probably do it Monday.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Very
I like
good.
that. Posh Wash Productions.
Posh Wash Productions. That's it. That'll be
It's
the
got to be
new
that. It's got to
production
be
name.
that.
Gotta do that, Andy. Now you gotta do it. Posh Wash Productions.
It
I want
was
permission on this.
You'll get it bugger all. As usual.
it was mud.
Bless. Right, we're going to call it there then, kids.
Yes, we are.
Right, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Absolute pleasure as always. Tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, the new Bite Size 101 and airbrushing videos will go up. And obviously in there's the next bit which does all the filling and gluing and the bits and pieces with that as well. So that's my plan of action to get that done tomorrow morning. I've just got to do all the links, to be honest, for that one, and that will all go up in the new areas, which will replace the old system. So watch this space, so that one goes up. But I'll be up with you. Remember, get all your gallery stuff up by about 9 o'clock in the morning, because obviously that's when I pick all your photos out for the gallery. So if you've got any stuff you completed this week, make sure you get them into the gallery sections, and I'll be popping along to grab those for the end of show reveal video on that particular one.
Cool.
Good job. Very good.
Yeah.
Right, we are out of here then, gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching us this evening. We will see you all next week. Till then, happy modelling. Take care. Oh, I forgot my clappy sound. There we go. Bye. Bye, everybody.